Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Good morning. It is Coffee and time here on WOON AM and FM on Thursday morning. It's February the 19th, and we thank you for joining us this morning. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. I'm Joe Callahan. We'll say good morning to Bob Lauder's at the table. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you with us. Sue Tessier-McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-In-Times is here as well. And good morning to you, Sue. And Sue, we're going to put Bob right in the hot seat right off the bat.
Well, before we do that,
yes,
we've got
Bob.
to ask Sue. She must have the biggest closet in the world.
It's a whole house.
It's always new outfits, never the same ones, always looking great. This is fantastic.
Well, you know, you missed a few duplicates when you were away.
All right. This came up yesterday on the Coffee and program, and we all went, I don't know. So we all said, it's a legal question. So we said, we'll save it for Bob for tomorrow. All right. So here it comes. Bob, so we had the unfortunate shooting at Lynch Arena on Monday.
Right.
We all know what happened down there. And then the Rhode Island police got together, or had to get together with the Maine police, because the shooter had an apartment and a storage unit in Maine, because he had a job up there, by the way. And so they had to get a court-authorized search warrant to go look through his apartment and the storage unit. And my question for Bob was, why do you need a search warrant? Because you're not building a case, but why do you need a search warrant to search someone's place when, they had to search his locker at work, too. his locker at work, too. But why do you need a search warrant when the suspect's already dead?
Okay. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to defer to my research
I'll just look just for the
Yeah, and just say he's right or not.
Yeah, because there's always a chance.
Okay.
Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable searches.
Okay.
It does not die. That protection does not cease when the individual involved dies. You still have to get it.
But why?
Because
he's dead. The family's probably going to say, yeah, go ahead and search it. Right?
Well, the family may not have control over it either.
Okay.
So in the case of the storage locker that he had in Maine, somebody else has control over that. The company that owns the storage facility.
Owner. Okay.
Right. To go out and have the owner open it up, they have to have the search warrant, because that's a protection from the Fourth Amendment. And it doesn't cease. That protection doesn't cease when an individual has died.
Okay.
It goes on afterwards.
So the same thing then with he's renting the apartment, so who's ever the landlord.
Whoever would have control of the apartment at the time, if there was...
Who's paying rent to. Okay.
Right.
All right, well, that makes sense.
Okay.
That does make
perfect
sense.
While privacy rights generally end at death, police still need a warrant to search a home or electronic devices to ensure evidence it is admissible in court.
There's not going to be any trial.
Right, but it still says that.
Okay. So the question, back to you, Bob, then. If, let's say he didn't have an apartment, let's say he owned a home.
Right.
Well, then who do you serve the search warrant to then? The bank that is holding the mortgage?
I would think you'd have several alternatives. One would be, if there was someone in the house, you could go out and serve this warrant on them and have access to it. In the absence of someone being there, I would imagine the search warrant would allow you to enter the facility, break the lock and go in.
If he owned the house and just say, we're going to give the search warrant to his surviving children, would that be good enough, even though they're 2 states away?
I would think they'd want to have the warrant served on someone who actually had immediate control over it and could open the door. And in the absence of someone like that, the search warrant would still allow them to enter the facility.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that answers the question. It's in the Constitution, and it's protection under the Fourth Amendment.
And my research assistant verifies this.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Good.
Perfect. Well, they did go in.
I'm just looking up what you just asked. If a person is deceased, who gets the search warrant?
Oh, okay.
I mean, we know who gets it, but who is it given to?
Right. And do we have an answer yet?
It's not It's how it's worded.
Right,
Who gets
right.
it?
Okay.
And then, their first answer was the police officers. Yes, I know this.
Yes.
Who is it given to?
All right. Well, they went in and into his apartment and into his storage unit, and they did find guns and firearm accessories.
Next of kin.
It does go to next kin. So
Yep.
okay, so it doesn't matter if you're 2 states away. Here, you're the surviving child or children. Here you go. This is what we're going to do.
You still want to
Okay.
have it served on the individual who has control over this particular
Yeah.
element that you're going to be searching.
It says next of kin, personal representative, executor of the estate, or any surviving co-occupants. I would think the employer would have needed to have one because they're going to be on their property.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
checking
makes sense.
The locker.
Let's say, so they found guns, firearms. Investigators towed a van that was registered to Dorgan after the shooting, and items that they recovered led them to Dorgan's apartment in Bath, Maine, and a storage unit in Brunswick, Maine, which is where my son works, by the way, in that
Really?
town. Like, great. I did read where they went to his work at Bath Iron Works in Bath and looked in his locker there and found nothing. I remember reading that. I'm like, okay. So that's what happened there. More on the person that Michael Black. He's the first person that jumped him in the rink. He credits 5 other people helping
there
him.
were 2. There was another one on the news last night.
Yep.
Michael Black's the one that has a left bandaged hand.
Yes, because he cut his hand.
There was another one last night on the news with a beard and glasses.
Yep, and
His
so
wife's a nurse.
Yep.
That
yes,
takes a lot of guts and courage.
I don't know if you read it. He turned.
I think
to-
it's adrenaline.
After the shooting started, or after the 14 shots went off, he turned to his wife, who was also with a friend, told them to run, and they did, while he went in the other direction and jumped them. And he was able to jam his finger into somehow to stop the trigger, because you could
Wow.
feel it that the shooter
That's how
was
he
still.
got the.
That's how he got the cut. Yeah. And he could still feel he was still trying to pull the trigger, but
Right.
his finger, Black's finger, was stopping it while he was on top of this guy. And then others jumped in. And then they did have a woman there that was a nurse that started with helping people that were hurt after the fact, before first responders
Right.
could get there.
But then he
Wow.
shot himself with the other gun.
Somehow he got away.
He
from
had the
them.
other gun.
He reached into a pocket and pulled out another gun and shot himself.
Yes.
So, and I looked this up because Channel 12 had this story, this information. He had a 10 millimeter Glock 29. I don't know my guns, but that's what they reported. A gun that he purchased in September of 2021 in Jacksonville, Florida, quite a while ago. And he also had I'm assuming it's SIG or SIG, Sauer P226, and then in parentheses it says 357. And he bought that in 2019 in West Warwick. So all on the up and up.
Right.
Well, he didn't steal these things. He wasn't given these things. He bought these, and also quite a while ago. They also found on him he had a Florida firearms carry permit,
Okay.
but it's
What did you say that the gun was?
which one? The first one,
second one?
the second SIG. So SIG.
Yeah, I got that.
Sauer SAUER P226,
P226.
and then in
Okay.
parentheses they just put .357.
I
And
would imagine these are hand
they are
guns.
handguns because
Right.
they were inside his pockets. It's unaware if he had a permit to carry in Rhode Island.
It's the sidearm of choice for U.S. Navy SEALs.
Wow. I don't think he had any military background.
Nope.
But okay, so that's he's had these guns and he's had them for a while, and everything was perfectly legal on the up and up. And
Well, the fact it sounds like he drove all the way from Maine to commit this crime. I hadn't realized that. I thought he was probably a local person. It was just
well,
an
he was
imaginative emotion.
eventually.
But this was a planned event.
Yes. From what I've also read, he worked for a while down in Florida as a truck driver, and I guess that's when he picked up the gun down there, and then looking for work wherever you can get it, I guess. And this company, Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine, said, okay, we'll take you on, because they came out right away and said, oh yeah, he's our employee. Yep, he definitely worked here.
Wow.
They helped out in any way they could. So
I think the people involved, though, the people who attacked him to prevent further damage,
Yeah.
and the people who rendered aid, takes a lot of courage in a situation like that to put yourself in further danger as opposed
Yeah.
to just
You don't
running
know
away
what-
and,
you don't know
and
what's
trying to
gonna
get
happen.
safe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And one of your colleagues was in the rink.
Yep.
Brendan Mello.
Brendan.
He's a sports writer.
Oh.
Was at the rink.
Oh, wow.
Wow. How's he doing?
Matter of fact, he
Is
was on the
doing- is he-
news. He was the one
Yeah.
that I heard from about the guy from North Smithfield
Yep.
that helped, take him down. I guess both were from North Smithfield, by the way. Black and the other gentleman I saw around last night.
Okay.
And I don't remember his name. It was on, I don't know, Channel 10 or 12.
I saw the listing of names, and one of the names I recognized was Glenn Naradoe.
Yep.
And I know he's from North Smithfield.
Yep.
So
There were a bunch from, North Smithfield was one of the teams.
right, yeah, one of the players
So
on
it
one of the
made
teams.
sense that there were a lot of people from there.
Yeah. So, and you hope if you're ever in that situation, you could do like what they did, but you never know how you're going to react when you're in that kind of life and death situation.
Well, I think it would be normal for people to try and protect themselves
That's right.
and leave the area.
Right.
But to change that from normal to rushing in and trying to assist, and that takes second thought and courage.
Absolutely.
It takes courage, but I also feel there's an adrenaline
It could be,
factor.
yeah.
Like I'm trying to picture myself in that situation. And the fear of getting shot in the back by running is stuck in my head. Always has been. So maybe, that plays a factor. You have that fear like, I can run, but am I going to get hit in the back?
I thought about that when I saw the video of all the hockey players hopping over the board,
Right.
skating across the ice. I
Exactly.
said, now you're out in the open.
Yep.
You don't know if the shooter's going to turn around and start shooting players.
Exactly.
And now you're not a sitting duck, but you're...
You kind of are.
kind of are,
And
yeah.
that's how I envision that. And with these guys, who knows? Maybe they have gun training. Maybe they have, different things that gave them that adrenaline rush to say, no, I'm going
I
in.
know how to... Or I
I'm
want to try and
going
stop
in.
it.
Right.
It's an adrenaline rush. There is no
Yeah.
doubt. You that's what takes over.
So how about this? We have the Robert Dorgan, who was the shooter. One of his sons from another woman
Yep.
he was sentenced to prison last year because he set fire to a predominantly black church in 2024 in North Providence.
North Providence.
I'm like,
Oh, wow.
wow. Kevin Colantonio is the biological son of Robert Dorgan, who also went by the name of Roberta Esposito. Colantonio was sentenced last year to more than 6 years in prison last June for using gasoline to set multiple fires along the exterior of Shiloh Gospel Temple Ministries in North Providence. No one was in the church at the time, and no one was injured. During the investigation, police found racist writings in Colantonio's apartment, and surveillance video showed him buying gasoline and a lighter before the fires were
Yeah,
set.
showed him clearly.
Clearly doing
I saw
it?
that picture. Oh my God! But he has, I don't know how many children, but 3 different women. He has children with 3 different women.
Well, I
Robert,
thought he had 6 with
So
his
then it's-
ex-wife that he killed.
no, there's
Okay,
he-
there's
there are
other
3
women.
different women.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll look it up while you.
which is it's so bizarre that he has these many kids with 3 different women when he wants to
Considering-
when he wants to be a woman.
Yep.
I think I don't get it. So, okay.
Well, a lot that I don't get with that, and I guess I'm just going to go there. Transgender means you did the operation.
Right.
Transvestite means you just dress
You
the
dr-
part.
Correct.
So whatever, I don't judge on that. However, you still look like a dude.
Oh, you look terribly
You
like
looked
a guy.
nothing like a woman.
I'm showing the pictures to my
Other-
wife. I go, look at the size of this guy's arms.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
So
huge.
that part in itself
Yeah.
is confusing to me. I could tell you a story that I know an individual that I had to go to lunch with many years ago. Like, my daughter's 38, 40 years ago, that wanted to be. I don't know that he transitioned.
Okay.
But he wanted to dress like a woman and go to lunch one day.
Okay.
So myself and a friend of mine went to lunch with him, dressed as a woman. Ugliest broad you ever seen. All right.
There you
and so this isn't anything new.
Oh, right. I
However, he wanted to look like a woman.
Yeah.
This guy, there's no.
other than he had slightly
Women's clothes.
longer blonde hair.
But the
and
long
wearing
hair
women's
doesn't
clothes.
even cut it.
No.
It doesn't even work for, he looked more like a man with the long hair, quite frankly.
And Bobby's he's got not only he's got huge arms, as big as your thigh.
Have you seen
He's
pictures of him?
He's got tattoos
Oh, well,
all up
I'll
and
show
down
you.
his arm, which are basically he's almost got a sleeve of tattoos, but the tattoos are what I would consider male tattoos. Males get these tattoos. Women get sleeves tattooed as well, but they get flowers and vines and things like that. He had Nazi insignia on his tattoos. I go, if you're going to transition to a woman, you're not going to look like a woman with those kind of tattoos on, unless he was planning on getting rid of them.
I would imagine that a lot of this is mental within an individual's mind, how they feel most comfortable and how they feel appropriate, and not necessarily how they perceive other people are going to look at them and make judgments.
According to people that knew him, and he showed up at hockey games like this often, so it didn't raise any eyebrows that he was there to watch his son play,
Right.
dressed as he was, because he had done it in the past. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. Sue is still looking at pictures so Bob can see.
Yeah, I gotta.
More Coffee and coming up. Stay tuned.
ON Radio. All right, we have an update on the entertainment at Chan's for you. The No Static Tour, a tribute to Steely Dan, tomorrow night at Chan's, sold out. Sorry about that, gang. Can't buy a ticket at any price. We're at room capacity. You could still go to Chan's and enjoy Little Miss and the Boom Valentine's Party on February 14th. Bring somebody special. Inspired by the retro musical stylings of yesteryear and borrowing from swing, blues, jazz, and rockabilly, you'll love the music. The band blends old-time tones into modern performance for all audiences. 20 in advance, 25 at the door. Bring somebody special to Chan's on Saturday night. And coming up next Friday, the 20th, Kim Trusty at Chan's, 267 Main Street, Woonsocket, and you gotta have the food too at Chan's.
Your premier real estate expert is Scott McGee of the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties in North Smithfield. Scott has had extensive training and knows the latest real estate strategies. He can offer you knowledge and tools most other agents can't. To see the latest listings from the Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties, visit this website, McGeeSoldMyHouse.com. Scott McGee of Stearns McGee team at RE/MAX Properties can help you buy or sell your home. The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Radio.
Here we are on the Coffee and program on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier-McKenzie. And Sue, time for your first message from the Blackstone Valley Call and Times.
Good morning, everybody. So I did mention last week that we are running our winter special. We're going to extend it at least into the first week of March. So if you're interested in running, something, you got some event going on or some real big specials in your restaurant or in your store, whatever, you can give me a call at 487-4136. I am also going to be running my brain injury awareness through the month of March. Ads will run every Friday, along with new content on brain injury, what to look for, who's susceptible and how they actually happen, which can be as simple as a slip and fall. If you're interested in participating, call my cell phone at 401-487-4136.
Okay. Also, the Rhode Island Interscholastic League they temporarily stopped all games this week because of the shooting. They say play will resume on Friday at the earliest. No players were injured because of the shooting, and the RIIL says it will work with schools to adjust schedules if necessary, adding that the outpouring of support, compassion, and unity across the member schools has been outstanding and deeply appreciated. So they're going to try to get back into play, and they'll probably have a lot of moments of silence, I would say, before.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure that was
place.
a tough call because it was a very, that's something that affected in some way or another everybody in the state.
Correct.
So you reach
Yeah.
out to the schools. How you feeling about this? Not just the upcoming games, but the past games. The ones that were there. How do you feel about this? And
Can I ask
important.
Sue a question about her commercial? She was talking about brain injury awareness. What is the program actually do?
So, first of all, there's the Brain Injury Association in Rhode Island, East Providence, Rhode Island. Their job, we'll say, is to provide necessary information. They have booklets, they have pamphlets. When an individual suffers a brain injury, oftentimes they don't even know it. This is part of the issue. So if you slip and fall, you hit your head, you're okay, you didn't lose consciousness, it's all kind of put under the rug, or you got a little cut, or whatever the case is. Any type of head contact with something can be a traumatic brain injury. People don't know it, but if you contact the Brain Injury Association, they have information. So I was talking to a woman that said, my husband had a car accident 6 months ago. Since then, he's acting a little different. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which hospital did he go to? Because there are protocols in place at all hospital ERs. Landmark was the last on board, which is sad that this wasn't implemented years and years ago. There are people that had brain injuries from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago that are only now coming to light, and it's misdiagnosed now. They're just saying dementia versus the fact they had a brain injury years ago. So that's where the Brain Injury Association comes into play to kind of immediate get you information. But now hospitals are supposed to jump on board, provide them with some literature, what to watch for, what to look for, and who to contact, who to reach out to, which is, again, the Brain Injury Association is a big factor.
Is the association able to provide or suggest care facilities for
Yes.
individuals or get
Yes.
in-home care?
Absolutely. They can, because they have what they call a neuronavigator. And what the neuronavigator does is they try to do the in-between legwork. I say try because the state of Rhode Island is lacking poorly in facilities and availability for people with brain injuries. Massachusetts is a phenomenal. Just right off the top of your head, you have hospitals in Boston that are right there from day one. Whereas Rhode Island, you kind of, like I've been doing for 6 years, is you don't know what to do with him, do you? You know what I mean? So Ron has his initial trauma was an anoxic brain injury, which was the result of cardiac arrest, and several falls and hits to the head now become traumatic. So he has several brain injuries, sadly.
Thank you.
All right. Other things going on.
No, thank you for asking. I'm sorry.
We just had it on our national news. I don't know if you've heard, but Prince Andrew has been arrested.
I got an
Prince
alert on my
Andrew has
phone this
been
morning
arrested.
on that.
Yes, misconduct in public office, and they're talking about he allegedly passing information to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like,
Passing information?
I-
State secrets?
something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the word they used, actually, state secrets. I
Yeah.
think that was one of the terms.
Now, unfortunately, today is Prince Andrew's birthday, so they arrested him the day before. So we don't want to ruin your birthday. So, but anyway, he denies all wrongdoing, of course. But this just might be the start of arrests in all dealing with Jeffrey Epstein.
Could be.
Because I've heard his name from the beginning. That he was involved in everything
Yeah, he
going
was
on
one from
on
the beginning.
on the island and like that. So this could be the start of a nice domino effect
Yep.
of other people getting arrested. But he's the first one.
Well, that's surprising, but okay.
It was surprising that he was arrested.
Yes. I didn't realize that
How involved he was.
Well, I've seen the photographs of he with some of Jeffrey Epstein's companions, and they seem to be more involved than one would expect.
Okay. Well, it all starts here. I don't know what the royal family is going to do, because this is Prince Charles's brother. Sorry, he's king now.
Right?
King Charles's Charles's brother. So, and they keep calling him former Prince Andrew. And I don't know why.
They
Has he- has he-
oh no, they took the title away.
Yes.
Who did? The
They-
family?
His father.
The family, yeah, that was
When?
not that long ago, right?
Within the last year or so, I
But,
believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
but why?
Because of everything.
Of everything going on with Epstein?
Right.
Oh, so you can renounce the or take back
Renounce,
the,
is that the word
the-
you would use?
I don't know if it's renounce is the right word. Usually, if you don't want to do something, you renounce. But if someone's taking it from you, I don't know what the word is there.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, so that's why they keep saying former prince.
Yes,
because he's not.
When did
and-
Prince
Charles-
Andrew lose his title?
Okay, there you go.
I'm so glad she's here.
AI is so good.
It's not AI.
Yeah,
this is
October
Sue Smarts. This is not
2025.
AI.
Okay,
This was October 2025, like we both
Okay.
just said. It was very recent.
very recent, and so
Yeah.
the royal family says he's now no longer a prince.
Right. And I think they've terminated his right of succession. He keeps moving further down
Well-
as his his nephew has more children.
wait.
But
Yeah, go.
But
Sue,
wait.
but there's
Yes.
more.
There's more. In January of 2022, Queen Elizabeth removed his honorary military roles and royal patronages due to his sexual abuse lawsuit, causing him to stop using the HRH style. So this has been kind of ongoing, but
Yeah.
Prince was taken away in October.
Okay, all right. So he's just Mister, huh?
Mr.
Mister
Andrew.
Andrew, whatever their last name is.
I think Mountbatten Windsor or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he keeps moving down in succession because there's William and it was Harry, but he's out of the picture too. But William has got kids, so
True.
the whole family would have to be wiped out before it went
When,
to Andrew
when
anyway.
Sue says
so.
Prince was taken away, it's sort of like you're walking your dog out of the room. His name is Prince.
Come on, boy. All right, so that. But yeah, surprising that you heard that
Yeah.
that happened. So he's going. So alrighty, let's see. I had to laugh because Dave had this story. I said, "Boy, must be a slow news day when Dave's telling you that Bruce Springsteen is coming to the Boston Garden. It's coming in May." I'm like, "Wow," and it's the it's the Land of Hope and Dreams tour. If you want to go see him, but if you look it up, it's also the Land of Hope and Dreams and No Kings tour. He is very outspoken about Trump and how much he hates him, which is fine. But it makes you wonder: will he get the crowds he used to get? He used to be sellouts like that,
Right.
And so I don't know. So because I was thinking of you, Bob, and because Bob and I. Big Jimmy Buffett fans, and we would go to the shows to have a good time.
Yes.
Isn't that why you go to concerts? To go and have a good time? It's gonna be 2.5 hours of fun. I don't want to hear about your political stance. I don't
Right.
care.
Exactly.
When you're talking about Land of Hopes and Dreams, and you figure that Bruce Springsteen is getting a little bit older,
He's
like
in his 70s.
okay, some of us hopes and dreams are sort of like, do they cut the grass at Union Cemetery? I mean, it's
Well,
not as
it's called Lands of Hopes and Dreams because he had that's one of his songs.
I realized.
Oh,
yes.
okay. But Bob, we went there to go see Jimmy Buffett, and whenever he was on stage, he never told you how to vote, who to vote for, who's lousy, who's not lousy. I knew where he stood only because I heard interviews with him, and he was a bit to the left, and he wasn't a fan of Trump either. But okay. But when I see you on stage, I want to hear you sing Margaritaville, and I don't want to hear about your politics. And that's
Right.
exactly what he would do, right?
True.
Okay.
I have no idea what his political stance was on anything.
Well, he was to the left. But anyway, there are some bands that they absolutely insist on doing this. Springsteen's one, Green
Well,
Day's
they're
another.
using, you know,
U2 is one.
I don't agree with it because I agree with what you're saying. You go there to enjoy an evening of music.
Yes, that's why you're
Period.
there.
End of story. If you
Yeah.
want to go to a town hall debate, you go to one.
Okay.
So I agree with you. I also think that they've got the platform. They're going to use it, regardless
so.
of what the platform is intended for. The platform is intended for a concert. But they're going to take it, and they're going to take advantage of it and use that platform to state their
Well,
case.
Some will. You're right.
I would also think that the performer knows that taking a political stance is going to have good and bad impact on the box
Absolutely.
office. You're
You
going to have
should.
people who say, I'm not going to go because of the particular political views of the performer, and others say, yes, I'll go because I may not like the performer, but
I agree with
really
that
like
stance.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the
So-
same time, some people would say, if you knew he wasn't going to do that on stage, they would say, you know what, I may not like his political views, like you just said, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
They may not like his political views, but I don't care about that for this 2.5, 3 hour
Yeah.
concert. I'm going because I like Bruce Springsteen's music.
Right.
So it becomes an issue in that manner.
Now, it's not in the story, but I've already heard if you do want to go see Bruce, the tickets go on sale Saturday morning, by the way, at noon, and you better have a lot of money. I'm
can
hearing
imagine.
$300 a ticket at the low end, and that's for the really good seats there at the Garden. I don't know if you want to be down on the floor. You're shelling out a lot more cash, so it's just the way things are now in the entertainment world. All right, break time once again on Coffee, and it's time for the forecast, being brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 40 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 24, calm wind. Friday's weather, a 90% chance of rain likely, possibly mixed with snow before 2 p.m., and then all rain in the afternoon, high of 37. New snow accumulation of less than a half an inch is possible. Friday night, it's a 90% chance of more snow, possibly mixed with rain, becoming all snow after 1 a.m. Low of 27, winds from the north, and new snow accumulation Friday night of 1 to 3 inches is possible. Saturday's weather. Cloudy skies, daytime high of 34 degrees and a breeze from the northeast. New snow accumulation of less than a half an inch is possible. Saturday night, 30% chance of snow, little or no snow accumulation, overnight low of 19. Sunday, partly sunny skies and 35. Sunday night, 40% chance of snow, mostly cloudy and 25. Monday, 40% chance of snow, mostly cloudy and 33. Monday night, 30% chance of snow, mostly cloudy, and 19 for an overnight low. Tuesday, sunshine and 35. Wednesday, partly sunny and 36 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we're up to 35 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. Dean Bank has the checking account you need, combined with the personal service that's just not commonly found today. From free checking to one that offers free ATMs across the nation, we have the perfect account to fit your individual needs. Visit deanbank.com for complete details and to open an account online in just a few minutes. All access checking, free checking, money market accounts, and more at Dean Bank, where they want to be your bank. Dean Bank, member FDIC, member DIF.
You hear it all on ON Radio.
It is Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. Joe Callahan, along with Sue Tester McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for first message from your law office, please.
Good morning. Thank you. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to talk to you this morning about the prudence of retaining legal counsel when one is appearing before any court. The case I'd like to discuss is that of Future Contracting and Estimators, LLC versus Allen, and it was decided in the Rhode Island Supreme Court just last December. In the future contracting case, property of the defendant had become damaged. The defendant contacted the plaintiff for the purpose of securing an estimate of the damages. The company claimed it had an agreement with the property owner to perform the estimate and subsequently invoiced the owner for $3,100. The property owner asserted that there was no signed contract for repairs and that the employee of the company had assured the owner there'd be no charge unless a formal appraisal was requested. Despite this, the owner signed a document labeled as Request for Formal Appraisal. When the invoice remained unpaid, the company sued the owner in the district court. Now, the district court has exclusive jurisdiction over civil cases where the damages sought from the defendant do not exceed $5,000. And a trial in the district court is de novo, which means that the party dissatisfied with the judgment has the right to appeal for a new trial on the merits in the Superior Court. In this case, the district court found in favor of the plaintiff, and following an appeal to the Superior Court, a judgment was also entered in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant took a further appeal to the Rhode Island State Supreme Court. Throughout the litigation, it appears that the defendant acted as its own legal counsel. When the case reached the Supreme Court for consideration, the defendant failed to provide complete transcripts of the Superior Court trial and failed to provide any substantive legal arguments, elements which most likely would not have been overlooked had the defendant retained legal counsel. In the absence of appropriate appeal documents, the Supreme Court deemed the issues on appeal to have been waived, and the order affirmed the order of the Superior Court. The moral of the case? Please give some serious consideration to retaining legal counsel in all elements of litigation. Just as one does not usually cut one's own hair because the results can be disastrous, the lack of legal counsel can also result in unfortunate consequences. If you think my office may be assistant to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Bob, I cut my own hair.
Your hair looks great. You
cut my own
your
hair.
You are
There you
kidding.
go.
Wait, no.
Change the,
Another argument down the drain.
change the ad. Well, don't you remember that item that they had for sale about 10 years ago, the Flowbee?
What was that?
the vacuum?
It looked like you attached it to your vacuum cleaner, and somehow it sucked the hair off your head or cut it somehow.
Yeah, so inside must have been
Some kind of blade of some
Yeah.
sort. Yeah.
like cutting the grass.
Yeah.
Like cutting the grass.
Yeah.
And you could
And they showed people using it, not really styling, but it was cutting the
it was
hair.
just
I
cutting
mean, I
it.
don't think you can get this. Well, maybe you can. You'd have to go
Oh,
on
let's look
Amazon.
it up.
Go on Amazon, see if you can get the Flowbee, Flowbee.
Flowbee.
And it was a way to cut your own hair. They're trying to save. Hey, buy this thing. It was probably $30. It's going to save you money in the long run because you're going to cut your own hair.
Well, Sue belies the fact because
Sorry, I'm laughing.
every
too
person I
much.
could imagine cutting their own hair was going to look like Mo out of the Three
Well, of course.
Stooges.
Yeah, you just go click, click, click. It's tough to get in the back, All right. Is it? Can you still get the Flowbee?
Well, it does show some serious images. And they are dated October of 2025, so apparently you can.
You can still get it. Well, there you go,
Let
Bob.
me show it to Bob.
You can still.
This is not something I plan on.
You can still get the well.
Oh,
okay.
great.
You can still get it. Yeah, that's right. That's what you did. If you can get the kid to sit still long enough, and it attached to the vacuum cleaner, so the hair didn't go everywhere.
There is still a factory direct. You can purchase it from
Oh,
the
they still got a company
factory.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
You just don't see it at Walmart or Target or anything like
Shop
that these
Flowbee
days.
haircut kit, parts and apparel.
There you go. There you go.
OMG.
Alrighty.
Another argument down the drain. Golly.
I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe some people are good at using this thing. Rhode Island's Attorney General Peter Nerona has joined a coalition of 13 attorneys general in suing the Trump administration for terminating funding for energy and infrastructure programs. The coalition says the money was allocated by Congress, and the administration is breaking the law because Congress, not the president, has the power of the purse. In Rhode Island, the administration canceled 3 grants totaling $14 million. The coalition is asking the court to declare the administration's actions unlawful and to permanently prohibit it from interfering with other programs. So we'll see where that goes years and years and years from now,
Right.
when it's finally determined. So here's another question for you, Bob. Down in Providence, they have put up signs all over the city, and the signs say basically ICE stay out. ICE can't put their staging areas here. You can't you just can't be on public land here in Providence. So it's intended to keep immigration and customs enforcement operations out of public parks and city-owned buildings. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley signed an executive order last month, and there are about 200 signs up around Providence. Take a look next time you're driving around Providence if you can see these signs. So the question is, well, what happens if they do set up on a public land in Providence? Are the Providence police then going to go and arrest the ICE agents for trespassing?
Right.
I would think that the ICE agents are acting under federal authority.
Right.
And the Providence Police and Municipal Authority. I would expect that any type of arrest of the ICE agents would result in a defense that you cannot restrict what the federal government is doing in a lawful manner.
Okay.
The federal government presently is saying we have the right to conduct these ICE raids and take people into custody. And you can make the formal arrest of an individual, but you're not going to be able to prosecute them and be able to be successful against them.
But if you set up like a trailer
Right.
in Roger Williams Park, because I know that's one of the places that said no, and you're there, you're an ICE agent, you're doing whatever you're doing, are the Providence police going to show up and say, hey, you got to move or we're going to arrest you? Or are they just going to let it go and just we'll sue you at a later time?
I have no idea what the Providence police would be doing under those circumstances.
Okay, all right.
I'm trying to look it up.
I would
But you
think it'd
gotta,
be-
again, it's all about the
It's all about
wording.
how you word it. Yeah, I know.
Because the first answer was the property owner is responsible for the ice.
Nope.
you really have
Well,
to be
there you go.
specific.
That's the slip and fall kind of ice. Okay.
Yeah, wrong ice. You got to put ice in capital letters, all three letters. All right. Stop and Shop and several unions with United Food and commercial workers have reached an agreement with Stop and Shop,
Okay.
avoiding a strike.
Great.
And so that is good. It affects about 225 supermarkets in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. The contracts will be
I didn't
effective.
realize there were that many Stop and Shop markets.
A lot of Stop and Shops. Yeah.
Wow.
In 3 states. I'm not sure if they're outside of those 3 states, but yeah. The new contracts will be effective as of March 1st, providing wage increases, health insurance, and pension benefits. So guess what? Prices are going up at Stop and Shop starting in March to pay for this. So, all right.
But again, people have the right to earn a reasonable wage for their services. Yeah.
Does it have to be reasonable? What's reasonable? That's awful broad, Bob.
Reasonable is what you conceive it to be.
Oh, well, okay then. You know, when I first started working at 16 years old, making my minimum wage.
You get it paid in colonial money?
Yeah, the blooms. But I was making $3.35 per hour.
Okay.
Working at Burger King, and I knew right then. I knew it was minimum wage. And I knew then. I go, it's not what I wanted. Go, but you got to start somewhere. So I knew this wasn't a living wage. I didn't expect it to be a living wage. I knew I had to. Eventually, I will move up. And I still remember on my 1-year anniversary of being at Burger King, they came to me and said, "Joe, you're going to get a raise." Oh, great. What's my raise gonna? I thought it was gonna go to like $4 or something like that an hour. It went to $3.45. They gave me a dime. They gave me a dime per hour raise. Thanks. That's
Right.
swell of you.
It's like I worked 10 hours, so you gave me an extra $1. Thank you.
I do remember one time. It's really the only time I complained because you looked at what your schedule was going to be for the next week, and so I'm looking ahead, and I was only on for 9 hours the next week.
So I go 90 cents. So you didn't even get it.
I said you're gonna. I go. I'm gonna after taxes. You're gonna $25. First of all, 10's got to go right into the car for gas at the time. I go. That leaves me $15 for the week. I said as the manager, never put me on for just 9 hours ever again, or I'm just going to quit. And they never did. They always gave me more.
Yeah.
Great. So, stand your ground. So anyway, what did you find out, Sue?
Okay, so no, they don't get arrested.
Okay.
So, according to this, it says some cities. I mean, the whole question based on they can go wherever.
ICE agents can go whatever.
That was the initial.
Yeah.
But then we have our own. But some cities, such as Providence, have enacted policies attempting to limit ICE's use of city-owned property for civil immigration enforcement. But federal agents, like you said, Bob, can operate under federal authority that supersedes these local restrictions.
Okay.
So
they're not going to try to go in, because I thought, what a confrontation that would be if the Providence police were showing up to arrest the federal ICE agents. I said, this isn't going to go well.
How bizarre would that be?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. We're going to take another break here on the Coffee AM program. So, Bob, it's time for a second message from your law office, please.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. The second recent Rhode Island Supreme Court case I'd like to discuss with you this morning involves the criteria for determining whether or not an individual was entitled to disability pension as a state employee. The case is known as Shepard versus the Rhode Island State Police, and it was decided in July of last year. In the Shepard case, the plaintiff was a 22-year employee of the department and had an honorable record of service. In May of 2017, while taking part in a firearms requalification program, she suffered a serious heart attack. Thereafter, she applied for a disability pension. The pension was denied because the superintendent colonel of the state police determined that she failed to prove that her heart attack was causally related to her employment. The officer filed an appeal, and after trial in the Superior Court, the case was further appealed to the state Supreme Court. The state Supreme Court determined that the superintendent applied the incorrect causation standard. Rather than requiring proof that the heart attack was caused by employment, the standard should have been whether or not the employment conditions contributed to the injury. The court wrote that due to the undisputed facts, including the stress and physical demands of the plaintiff's job with the state police, it concluded that her employment contributed to her heart attack, and the plaintiff was entitled to receive the disability pension. If you think my office may be assisting you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney. It's an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks.
I'm surprised you get disability at all, because normally don't get disability just for a heart attack.
It said serious heart attack. The case did not go into the clinical results as to what actually the disability was
about that.
in physical form.
All right, we're going to take another break on the Coffee AM program. Coming back real soon here on ON AM and FM.
ON Radio. Checking out the entertainment at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. Tomorrow night, February 20th, from 8 to 10, it's Kim Trusty. Yes, Chan's drawing on jazz, rhythm, and blues, vocal improvisation, soul, and roots. She brings her life and heart into unforgettable performances. A celebration of African American history, women's history, jazz history, all rolled into one dynamic showcase of music. Kim Trusty, 20 in advance, 25 at the door, Friday night. Saturday night, the 21st, the Love Dogs with special guest guitar maestro Ricky King Russell. From 8 to 10, the Love Dogs are funny, funky, and push a beat 50s style until you can't help but tap your feet. With big, thick horns and humorous, sexy lyrics, this band is built for fun. 20 in advance, 20 at the door, 25 at the door at Chan's. And coming up next Friday, the Winehouse Project. We'll tell you more about that next week. Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. When you go there, don't forget to try the food. Well, it's great.
Hello, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Warm up at Lops Brewing annual Midwinter Beach Party, Saturday, February 21st from 4 to 9 p.m. Enjoy summery seltzers and beers, cookies from Cookie Chow from 4 to 8 p.m., and W's wood-fired pizza from 5 to 9 p.m. Ridiculously patterned shirts, shorts, and non-winter appropriate footwear are encouraged. Lops Brewing, 122 North Main Street in Woonsocket. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email us at events@woonsocketradio.com.
Hey, it's Cruz and Bruce from ON Radio. And what are people saying about my Saturday block party every weekend? Well, let's ask.
Hey, Bruce, big fans, Bobby and Jane. We try to call as much as possible from Cumberland.
I think you're wonderful. I love you. You're awesome.
God bless you. I really enjoy the show.
Hey, Bruce, this is Wendy. Thank you for all your great music.
You have a wonderful evening, and again, enjoying the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Make an appointment to join me every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. on the one and only ON Radio.
Really make our weekends. I love it.
You're a legend.
Well, let's not go overboard.
On ON Radio.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON. Thanks for joining us this morning as always. Joe Callahan along with Bob Lotter, and Sue Tessier-McKenzie is here as well. Well, does the name Crystal Hefner ring a bell?
Isn't it you's wife?
It is Hugh Hefner's wife. Very good.
Really?
Yes, she is the widow of Playboy magazine mogul Hugh Hefner. And it's too bad you don't practice law in California, Bob, because you could have got in on this. Because we're talking lawyers making a ton of cash on this baby.
Well, I'm always interested in a ton of cash.
She's filing 2 complaints against her late husband's foundation.
Okay.
All right. And she says the foundation is in possession of thousands of scrapbooks containing lewd photos of women and possibly underage girls. Now, does that surprise you? Doesn't surprise me.
So the foundation has this. Why does she?
Well, high-profile attorney Gloria Allred.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Yeah.
Oh, you know her too?
Yeah, she's
representing Crystal Hefner, okay? She says it's unclear how the foundation came into possession of the photos after Hefner died in 2017. Crystal Hefner says that there are about 3,000 scrapbooks containing images of thousands of females taken before, during, and after encounters. She says she was removed as president of the Hugh M. Hefner Foundation on Monday after bringing up concerns about the photos. No more, we don't want you rocking the boat. Get out. And she also says she was asked to resign, but she refused, so they threw her out. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's part of the reason, part of the lawsuit. They threw her out.
What is her concern about them? Is my question. In other words,
3,000 scrapbooks. Yes. What's the question?
Does she? Like you just mentioned, lewd photos
Yes.
before, during, after, possible,
possibly underage
minors.
But yes.
Okay. So what is her concern? What was her concern? Nobody should be in possession of these. We should burn them, or they should be mine. What was the?
Not that they should be hers, but how did the foundation get possession of these photos? That's one of her questions. Why do you have them? Why are you keeping them?
Right, yeah, that's my.
That's another thing.
Okay.
And since she brought it to the foundation, they said, we want you to quit. She said no, so they voted, I guess, and threw her out. And so now she gets her Gloria Allred lawyer.
Okay, well in that case, Gloria's
them.
okay.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I'm curious as to why. If it's to simply destroy them, then fine. If you
Doesn't
want
say
to
yet.
go look through them and find pictures of your deceased husband that you want to keep, fine. But to keep lewd photos of anybody, doesn't that fall in a gray area, Bob, of legalities?
I don't know if it falls in a gray area of legalities. I would imagine there's arguments you can make for both sides. One argument would be preservation of these documents is a evidence of the culture of the times and things like that, and they should be.
Yeah, it doesn't say how far
for,
back the pictures go. Do we go back to the 60s on this? I don't know.
For studies,
well, culture
and
of the
like
times,
that,
I get what you're saying, Bob. Things were very, very different.
Sure.
You used to be able to tell an off-color joke without fear of repercussion.
Being fired.
Yeah. John Gregory used to always tell me some good jokes.
Well, you didn't work for John, so.
Well, no, but still, John, we'd be outside because I used to smoke at the time, and we'd stand outside having a cigarette, chatting and laughing and
jokes,
telling jokes.
All right. So since you can't get on this one in California, Bob,
okay.
Here's another one. It's too bad you don't practice in Florida, because here's another one.
What are they doing in Florida?
There's a lot of craziness in Florida.
I realize that Florida,
and
yes.
It's a Florida couple. They're still looking for answers in a possible botched IVF in vitro fertilization case. Tiffany Scores and her partner are suing the in vitro fertilization company IVF Life Incorporated, saying she gave birth to a child that isn't biologically theirs. Crazy, huh? The couple believes the company swapped their embryos with somebody else's. They had a virtual court hearing with an Orlando judge on Tuesday as part of their lawsuit. The couple's lawyer says they want to contact the child's biological parents to see if someone else is raising their biological child. And do we switch?
Right.
At this point? if they can straighten it out and
Whoa.
say this one's yours and this one belongs to them, okay, switch babies.
Well,
I
there
can
was a movie about that, but not with the in vitro.
Yeah.
It was women in the hospital giving birth.
Oh, and then switching child.
And there was and accidentally.
I think it doesn't say it here, but I'm trying to remember from the first story we had of this. This is a white couple, and she gave birth to a black child.
So it's pretty,
Yes, Bob.
I
pretty
think
obvious.
there's the claim against the in vitro fertilization center.
Yes.
And whether or not they actually made a mistake in handling the cells and embryos could be pretty easy to determine by virtue of DNA. But
Yep.
to go further and to try and locate where
their
a
real child is?
your child
Is, yeah.
and have an impact on that child's life is going to be really serious. I would think a court would be looking at what is in the
What's best interest.
Well, also the age of the other child, but what's in the best interest of the child. And to suddenly say to a 5-year-old child, okay, mom and dad are no longer your mom and dad, we're going to
These
move
people
you
are.
over to these people who you've never met before, and they're going to bring you up, that can have a serious
Oh,
consequence.
absolutely.
But I think
on
the
the
child
child.
right now is, or both of them, are probably about 3 months old. Right now, 3-4 months. We're not talking years yet.
Okay.
So switching them is really not going to affect the child mentally like it would a 5-year-old.
But if this story, if we are sitting here in Little Rhodey talking about this case,
Yeah.
therefore it's all over the country.
Yes,
So
that's right.
one would think the other party may have heard about it, or somebody may have said, "Hey, isn't that the place you went to?" You'd think somebody would have already stepped forward by now and said, "Hey, I think that might be us."
Okay.
That is going to be very emotionally
Oh, sure. That's
Absolutely,
charged.
for
absolutely.
the other parties. Yes.
So this is the first time I've heard of this story, also out of Florida. Florida's got the best stories. And it deals with an Uber driver. And this must have shocked the Uber driver. A woman is accused of leaving her 2 young kids with an Uber driver. Driving over there, and when they drove over there, the woman gets out of the car and leaves the 2 kids in the car. Now, do I have ages? I don't have ages on the car, on the kids. Sorry. 32-year-old Emily Sabagal was arrested on charges of child neglect and desertion. Police say she walked away without her kids and left them with the driver for 2 hours
Ew.
in his or her car. She was found at a shopping plaza nearby. Uber driver obviously calls the police, and he says, that woman appeared drunk at the time.
Oh.
Which maybe she's been released on bond, Bob.
Okay.
So more in this as it comes up. Jeez, that's probably the last thing you expect if you're the Uber driver.
Well, typically
Picking
when
up
you
someone.
Uber, and I've never Ubered, but
I have.
typically you're going from point A to point B, and
Correct.
the Uber leaves. But I'm sure there are some cases where, okay, you're going to wait for me. You're on the clock. I'll pay you. I'm curious about that. But that's not the point.
no.
It still doesn't make it okay to leave your children
Yeah.
in the car. I'm just curious if...
But you're not on the clock because it's not a taxi.
Right, but
You-
could you be? Or
I'm not sure because I've always done it. Pick me up at the airport.
Yeah,
Drive
and
me
bring
to
me home.
drive me to home. Well, drive me to hotel.
Yeah.
Point A to point B, and then
Right.
when you pull it up on your phone, and they say, okay, you're going to go from this airport to this hotel. What size car do you want? How many are you?
Yeah.
And they give you a list. Okay, here's the list of cars that can come and get you, and here are their prices. Do you agree? Pick a car.
Oh, is that how
what
that works?
That's
I
how
never
it works.
knew that
so
part.
there's never you're on the clock. So you look at it. You go, okay, I want this car. There's only one of me. It's going to cost $45. You hit yes, and they said, okay. John is driving a Kia Sorento, and his license plate is this. This is who's picking you up. He'll be there in 5 minutes. That's how it tells you that.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if you said, okay, take me from the hotel, and then let's stop at
Wait for me so that you can bring me to dinner.
Yeah, I don't think. Or if you're driving to the hotel, look, can we stop in at the Dairy Queen? I want a snow cone.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that. No, I was told to pick you up here to go to there. It's A to B. There's no unless
Right.
you can do something on your phone and say okay, and because that'll add to the cost it would cost to
Right.
do the Uber. So
But you
One of
probably
us
had
is
to put
sitting
it
here
in
with
ahead of time.
the staring
the
eyes
headlights.
thinking, I remember when you called Standard Cab at 5,000 and they'd send out a taxi for you.
5,000.
That was the number of the telephone. Telephone number, I think.
No, that's not how it works. That's not how the ride share companies work now. You know ahead of time exactly what it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And then as you're driving, you get a little message on your phone. You know, if things are going along the way you like, is the car clean enough? Is the driver pleasant? Is he safe? She safe? And then that's when you can tip the driver.
They do
And
have
then
hourly.
They do? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to do it in the app.
Yeah. Okay.
You select
go.
hourly
Okay.
in the app, which allows you to keep the same car and driver for a set number of hours.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know they did that.
Right, because that's like a limo. Yeah, we're contracted to bring you from the airport to home. So if you decide you want me to, let's go to the North End for dinner. Well, no, you are now immediately put on hourly. You made us go to the airport. You're going to pay for that. And now we are on hourly. So I kind of
with the and with the Ubers and the Lyft, Bob, no cash changes hands. So you have to when you pull up the app, you got to put in your credit card. It's all charged there. So that's why you never hear of Uber drivers and Lyft drivers getting mugged, like taxi drivers do, because they have no cash on them. And the people that are going to mug you know this.
Every time I've used
away from
Uber, my daughter has taken care of everything.
There you go. She's getting charged.
Yes.
So, all right. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. We thank you very much for listening in. As always, Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to see you next week.
All right, very good. And Sue, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the week and a good weekend.
All right, stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now,